Hello, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show. This is no ordinary podcast. This production has heart and soul, healing and wisdom, artists and authors. Deidre has spent her entire life promoting people, projects, and products that further hope and healing. She has also been a positive force in the entertainment industry as a vocalist, performer, musician, composer, conductor, author, and healer. You will be in good hands spending this time with her and her guests as they will guide you into another space where you can relax and feel their positive energy. Thank you for joining us. And now, here is the amazing Deidre Reigel with her special guest.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part 5 of the Gratitude series. Today's guest is Carl Bozeman. And before I begin chatting with Carl, I'd like to tell you a little bit about this man. Carl is a spiritual pioneer and the author of the Amazon best-selling book, On Being God, Beyond Your Life's Purpose. He has also written, Are You Listening? Addressing the Divine Within, On Human Being, Loving and Living Without Purpose, and Shaman. All these books are available on Amazon in print and Kindle version. His book, Are You Listening? Addressing the Divine Within, can be downloaded for free at the website www.spiritualintuition.com. And I need to make a note that it is www.spiritual-intuition.com. Now, Carl's message is to inspire, uplift, and challenge each of us to see through the limiting illusion we all accept as life, to challenge our thoughts and beliefs so that we regain the awareness we once had before becoming locked in our beliefs and memories. True awareness has no boundaries. Carl's work, the essence of everything he does, is to get you out of your mind and into a knowing of what you truly are underneath your human form. Finding you exceeds any idea or accomplishment you achieve in life. So with all of that important information said, Carl, welcome to the show today.
Deidre, I am so thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for taking time, Carl, to be here. I express my gratitude to you. So we're here today to talk about gratitude. And I'd like to ask you to begin with, what is gratitude to you?
You know, gratitude for me, it's kind of morphed over the years into, something other than, what most people think of as gratitude. And I'll just give you a little bit of a rundown of what that is. I look at gratitude as kind of a signpost. And there are many, many signposts that we as humans have been given to sort of take us out of our mind, take us out of our judgments, take us out of, the things that we kind of lock ourselves into as human beings and prevent ourselves from actually seeing and being aware and living fully and gracefully. But, and among those would be forgiveness. That would be one of the tools in the toolkit. Loving, kindness, and of course, giving, and then of course gratitude. Now, to me, gratitude is one of those things that we do, as I mentioned before, that that helps us live a little more gracefully, a little bit more easily, and it actually gets bigger, more profound as you start to accept more and more things to be grateful for, all of the tools in the toolkit, for me, are all designed to take us out of our judgment. And that is, if you look at all of the spiritual icons, every one of them, the Buddha, Krishna, Jesus, even Muhammad, they all tell us to not judge. Just don't judge. Now, if you take that, and these tools in the toolkit, gratitude being one of them, gratitude being a huge one, is finding ways to be grateful for not only the things that are obvious to us to be grateful for, but all the things that we would not normally think we need to be grateful for. And we say things as humans, I call them negating add-ons. And they always end up with something like, be grateful for what you have because others won't be or others aren't. Be kind because others aren't necessarily kind. And somehow your kindness is going to overplay theirs. But that's not what it is. It is finding ways to be grateful for literally everything that's going on in our experience. And if you remove judgments, all the things you've learned to look at and judge and categorize, classify as either good or bad, you're in love with it all. You're grateful for everything. I mean, there is no division between what you're grateful that is good or what you're grateful for that is bad. It's all just incredible. Kind of a long explanation. I don't know if I answered your question there, but that's
beautifully.
That's kind of where I'm at with that.
Beautifully, Carl, and I'm really resonating with what you are saying in this moment. I think so many quote-unquote religions or teach us to be grateful in all things and grateful for all things. And this idea of being without judgment on any of it, calling any of it or good or bad, is so freeing, I find, is so life-expanding. And yes, we have pain. Yes, we have things that we identify as difficult. Perfect, fine, wonderful. We're on this planet, in my opinion, to expand, to grow, and to experience. And I think this idea of removing judgment gives us a way. And I'm going to quote you. You said, living gracefully. And this is something I think we all so desperately want. And we get all tangled up in judging it, judging others, judging ourselves, be kind because others are. I think your answer, in my opinion, and I'm sure many of our listeners are going to agree with you, is so elevating and so exciting to listen to. I had a big smile on my face while you were saying all this. So thank you for your answer. Yes. And I really appreciate hearing it because it's reinforcing to remind myself, to Deidre, everything is good. And there comes the judgment. Did you catch that, Carl? There comes the judgment.
Yes.
Everything is to be grateful for.
Yeah,
we've been stuck in our minds, all of us, and I think we're all of us coming out of false illusion. Wow, what a great answer to a question. So then if I could be just a little more specific, Carl, what specifically causes you to be grateful? Could you give us some examples, please?
Well, that's morphed as well, as this sort of idea that there really isn't a division between good and evil. This is better than that type of thing. And so what gives me, and this is the honest truth. I wasn't this way always. I mean, I was a very judgmental person. I mean, I looked at everything with real critical eyes, and I think most of us, or many of us, do the same thing. We've gone through the steps of becoming what we think we've become, and that becomes the platform, the criteria for how we look at everything in the world. And for me, I just don't look at anything judgmentally in the sense of it being good or bad. And so literally everything, every experience, even those experiences, right now it's snowing where I'm at. We've got a foot of snow. The wind is blowing. It's a mess. I have dogs. I have animals. It's not fun going out there in the blizzard-like conditions and, taking care of the animals. But at the same time, I love it. I just love it. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. Yes. And I'm thrilled. Grateful probably isn't even a big enough word to cover how excited I am to just be it, And I think when you start getting away from the judgments that take you into this is good, this is bad, you start to see everything as as what it's supposed to be, and that is really it is you. You are it. You're the creator. Nothing exists without your experience of it. If you're not in the picture, it isn't there. And for me, I can walk into any situation and just be thrilled. But the mind is always going. And so it's telling you, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, all based on old information. But I'm able to somehow, over the years, I've been able to come back very, very quickly to how special, how wonderful, how incredible this really is. And so gratitude is for the whole thing. It is for, whatever side of an argument you might be on, whatever side of an issue you might want to champion or not champion, I'm in love with it. And gratitude for me, what makes me grateful is being able to see the beauty in everything.
Oh my, Carl, that just warms my heart. It causes me to feel so joyous. Wow, I'm a little speechless right now, and that's a little hard to do, to make me speechless, Carl. So beautifully, once again, so beautifully expressed. I'm just breathless here. I'm sitting in the same snow that you're in. We're both in the state of Colorado right now. You use an expression, Carl. Pardon me, listeners, while I recover from what this gentleman has just spoken that has just literally elevated my thinking. Yet you spoke about being, I think I heard you say, in love with life. Did I hear you correctly, Carl?
Yes, yeah. I adore life. Every aspect. I don't care what it is. I do not care what it is. And for the person who is not judging, just to add to that, the person who has lost this idea that there's good and evil, they just see a sweetness to everything. There is beauty to be found in every single thing that's going on. And
yes.
And I'm there.
I hear it. I started to write a song the other day called Perception. Perception is so much of what we live, and it affects what we create. And what I hear you saying is that when we're in that state of non-judgment and gratitude and in love with life, because we are powerful, energetic, creating beings, we are creating more of that to have in our life. And again, without judgment, it's simply the acceptance of the experience. Just Carl, again, I'm so grateful myself to share this moment with you and to hear this information that is personally inspiring to me and a shot in the arm, because I'm right there with you, and it's a wonderful reminder, as I say. So this leads me to talk about your work, or to ask you really to talk about your work. And, I shared your very short biography with our listeners, and, your message is to inspire, to uplift, and challenge each of us to see through the limiting illusion we all accept as life. And you've just spoken about that. I'd love to ask you at this moment to talk about your work, what people can gain from it, what your own personal journey was in achieving this wonderful place you are in your life. Please share more, Carl, if you'd be so kind.
Sure. Just to give you a little bit of background, I was raised a Mormon. The LDS church, so I have a Christian background, but it's a Mormon church, pretty hardcore, very very dogmatic and very rigid, like many churches are, and or religions. And I was always this sort of free spirit, wanted to find all the answers. And I went down every alley. I went down physics, and I used to refer to myself as a closet physicist. And, even though I wasn't, but I got into religions, I got into philosophies and various other things, and I finally came to this conclusion that there is no answer, and what am I doing here? I got very, very depressed, so depressed that I wanted to end my life, and that in a nutshell. And I had it all arranged, I had it all planned. I was just going to, I've had enough. I'm not doing this anymore. It's no fun. And I had the whole thing set up, except that I, just one last visit to visit my 4 children. And I wasn't going to tell them what I was planning, but I was just going to go and have a great time with them. And I visited 3 of them at the same time in California. And and I had this out-of-body experience. We were actually watching a DVD. We were going to go see a movie, but we needed to kill some time because the movie came on later. And I'm watching this DVD, and all of a sudden, there's something is looking at me, at the physical me, sitting on the couch, watching this DVD, and of course, when it re-entered, that physical thing, it brought with it this awareness that thing sitting there on the couch with the kids watching the movie isn't what you are. And all of these problems, all of these doubts and depression and other things that you have going on aren't what you are. They're not what you are is this other thing that could look at it and not be it. And it was so life-changing for me that I'm not my body. And bottom line, that's what it is. And so my work, I was actually laying in the bathtub, and I just had this revelation, call it, or whatever. But it was the fourth, I think it's the fourth chapter in that book on being God. But it's about good and evil and what is sin. And it was just this awareness that we are not, there is no sin. We make that up in our mind. The whole concept of evil is just something humans have devised, have made up in their minds. And it messes us up. And so my work, as you mentioned in the intro, was I'm going to get people out of their mind. I just need to get you disconnected from the things you believe, the things you think about, the things you think are true, the things you think are not true. Just get rid of that and get yourself focused on what is right now, and you will have a beautiful life. I say often that, you can be literally wrong in your mind about everything. In fact, this would be great advice for all men, all married men. You can be wrong about every single thing and have a great life, have a wonderful life. Because you don't have to worry about being anything else. And so my work, I spend a lot of time trying to get people to get out of their minds, get out of that noise, get out of the rules of the game, the rules of life that we all create over time. It's nobody to blame. Our parents start teaching us from day one. You can hear parents say to their children, their newborn children, oh, sweet, wonderful miracle, just came from God, on and on and on and on. And probably within days, it is, I'm going to show you how to be a human. And from that point on, it is, I'm going to mess you up. That's kind of what the parents are doing. And by the time children are 7 or 8 years old, they're a mess. And they're going to play that mess the rest of their lives. Very, very few people break out of it because it's so fixed. It's so rigid. My whole objective is to throw out signposts, because I know I can't, from my experience, I can't convince you that this is what you have to do. But I can throw out those signposts that say, here's a little taste of what it's like to just be in this blissful state where, your mind isn't trying to control everything.
And Carl, isn't that what all of us want, is to feel sovereign, to feel free, to be self-aware and in such a state of gratitude and exultation about it? Isn't that what all of us really want?
It is. I maintained, I am not one of those New Age gurus, I guess, that says that, we're here to learn anything. We're on vacation. You mentioned the exaltation. It is, if you're on vacation, you're not planning things. You just go to a place and you do things. You be with those things. You love those things. You embrace those things. If you're a little bit late, it doesn't matter. If you didn't quite fit this in this day, who cares? You're relaxed. You're taking it easy. You're enjoying. You're breathing. You're loving. I maintain that school is out. We're not here to learn anything. We're here to live. and to be and to love and to enjoy and to be exuberant and happy. But we make ourselves miserable with all of these rules we have for what it has to be. And it even goes into purpose. People are killing themselves trying to find a purpose or find the meaning in life. Life is just this huge mystery that not a single mind ever has ever figured out, nor will ever figure out. It's unfigure-outable, but it's beautiful.
And that's the beauty of it, yes.
That's the beauty of it. Living the mystery is, if you go into the fun house at the fair, it's no fun if you know everything that's, what's going to happen at every turn. It's only fun because you don't know what's going to happen at every turn. It's a mystery. And that is the freedom that you were mentioning. That is so beautiful, so profound.
And the adventure of life, Carl, as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Life is an adventure. It's a vacation.
This is so refreshing, so uplifting and inspiring, and it is a challenge for all of us, Carl.
It is a challenge.
Myself included. You caught me just moments ago using a judgmental word, or a word that we attach judgment to. And I'm guessing that there are so many of us on the planet now who sense that the time is now, in Earth's timeline, as we call it, to have this freedom, to be sovereign souls, and to enjoy and expand without having to explain, question, judge, etc., simply to be in a state of beingness and to be always in the now. I have a feeling that your message is very much needed by many people right now. And, Carl, it is a sincere honor for me to be offering my podcast and this time as a platform for your important words and thoughts and concepts to be disseminated to the people who are probably very much needing and wanting to hear them. And I want to thank you also for sharing your personal story so candidly. And I'm willing to bet that many people got to the place that you got, where what's the point of staying on the planet any longer? This doesn't make any sense, I think there are many people who've got to the point, I can't fulfill these rules. I can't live up to this. What's this all about? And I really want to thank you for so candidly sharing your story. Wow, and just being in the moment, Carl, and sharing.
I was just going to say thank you. It's just been an honor and a pleasure to be here. You can tell how much I love this, this freedom, this joy, this gratitude.
It's beautiful, Carl. This has been a remarkable time. I thank you, and I know, again, that our listeners are going to thank you as well. Would you mind to maybe, in closing, Carl, offer just a sentence or two of encouragement to our listeners in their own journey?
Oh, I should refer everybody over to my Facebook page, because I post something every day that usually is along those lines. I know you've read some of those, but, I probably two things. Yeah, ever since that out-of-body experience that I had, the one thing, and probably the most primary thing, it's the only thing I claim to know. Everything else I don't know. I don't know, and I don't believe, I believe everything or nothing, but you are not your body. Plain and simple, there is something more to you than what you think you are. And we are so attached to our bodies and to our minds and to our memories and to our knowledge and to all the things that make us what we think we are, that we hold on to that body with a fierceness that is almost insane. And and if I can get anyone to just start to recognize that there's something underneath that body, underneath the physical side of you, that you can know, that you can actually know what it is, who it is, however you want to put that. You can know what that is, and there is where you're going to find the peace that you and I have been talking about, the gratitude for virtually everything that goes on in the planet or the universe. Throw your arms around whatever you want. Doesn't matter. You're going to love it. If you can disconnect from everything you think you are and just be what you actually are. How was that?
Beautiful. Once again, Carl, beautiful. And indeed, something to be grateful for. Carl, I thank you. It has been an honor to share this time with you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been listening to the wisdom of Carl Bozeman today. And again, his website is www.spiritual-intuition.com. I wish for you, ladies and gentlemen, our beloved listeners, a day filled with peace, joy, grace, non-judgment, and gratitude. So long for now. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily those of this podcast, nor is any content intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any illness of any kind, or substitute for proper professional care in this regard. We sincerely hope you have enjoyed today's show. If you're not already a subscriber, please click on the link and join our ever-growing community of goodwill. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please contact us at drhoperadio@gmail.com. That's drhoperadio@gmail.com. All of us here at the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show wish you a day filled with hope and joy. Till next time, namaste.